I'm Lucid Fiasco, and welcome to Titanfall 2 Tips and Tricks.
Ion might be the most balanced Titan in Titanfall 2. Good against pilots and Titans, she is always a good choice if you aren't sure which Titan to take into battle. Let's talk about how to make her lasers even more effective. Ion is all about resource management. All of your weapons draw energy from a bank which appears to the left of your crosshairs. Use up all this energy and you'll have to wait for it to recharge. Your abilities are on cooldowns as well, so it does take a little bit to get the hang of spacing out your attacks and making sure not to drain your energy meter. The only ability that doesn't drain energy from this meter is your basic primary weapon. If you're curious as to how much energy each ability uses, just drain the tank and then try to use something. A red bar will show up and show how much energy is needed. So, if we have limited energy, what is the best way to use it? Well, the laser shot is probably Ion's strongest weapon. This is a hit scan attack, meaning it has no travel time. It also has unlimited range, which makes it an amazing sniper-style weapon. It's basically like a slightly weaker version of Northstar's railgun, but it's easier to aim and get critical hits. Using the laser shot to peek and pop against enemy Titans, especially Tone and Legion before they can react with their shields, is a great strategy. Also, the laser shot is amazing against pilots as the hitbox is pretty forgiving. I would suggest not zooming in when using this against pilots, as the normal reticle is very large and seems to actually have a larger hitbox than when the reticle is zoomed in. Now onto Ion's most interesting ability, the Vortex Shield. This ability will catch any incoming projectile rounds and throw them back at your enemies, doing the same amount of damage that you would have taken. Now, something to note here, if you catch hit scan rounds, such as bullets from pilot weapons or ammo from Legion Predator Cannon, you will shoot back that ammo as a hit scan attack, which means it will hit them instantly. On the other hand, if you catch travel time rounds like the 40mm cannon rounds, missiles, or Ronin's shotgun pellets, these will all fire back with travel time, just something to be aware of. Also, you cannot fire back energy-based weapons, so don't waste your shield against attacks from other Ions unless you really need to avoid the damage. Also, an important note, there is currently a bug that makes your Vortex Shield reflections have a bunch of splash damage that can hit multiple Titans. It's kinda weird and will probably be fixed soon, but I figured it should be noted. Even if this is patched, the Vortex Shield is still super powerful and is a direct counter to even the best Legion player. When facing Legion and Tone, the Vortex Shield can be supremely effective because they have predictable attacks. Simply watch for Legion's Predator Cannon to spin up or Tone's tracker missiles to start firing, and throw their attacks right back in their face before they can react. Also remember that you can absorb and shoot friendly ammo as well, though this is generally more of a hassle than it is practical. Final tip, you can catch and convert enemy ordnance and gear to your own, so keep that in the back of your mind. So what about those laser tripwires? Well, they can be useful, but not in the obvious ways. They're often spotted and destroyed by enemy Titans, so using them as traps generally doesn't work for me. Instead, I will often fire them offensively. These can do damage to multiple enemies, so don't be afraid to just throw these guys into congested areas while you hang back from a safer position, waiting for your energy to recharge. Also, these can be very useful against rodeos. When you see a rodeo indicator, throw out your trip mines and then turn around 180 degrees and force the enemy to jump straight off into your trap. The trip mine will still trigger and explode even if an enemy is pretty far over the actual laser, so this is very effective. As far as kit choices, there are several viable options here. If you're like me, you'll choose the extra dash for your Titan kit. That said, I can see any of the other kits working just fine as long as you're cool with only having one dash. For the Ion kit, things get really interesting. I used to primarily use Entangled Energy, which recharges your energy with each critical hit. This is great for keeping your energy meter up during Titan fights and can even be used on Reapers to restore energy. Recently though, I've been branching out. Grand Cannon is fun, but only really useful when against a bad team that just ignores being shot by a giant laser. Refraction Lens is a big damage ability, but best for players who aren't as accurate with the laser shot and need something a little more forgiving. Meanwhile, Vortex Amplifier can be a real game changer. This increases the damage of your Vortex Shield reflections and can absolutely ravage enemies who aren't careful. I've been using this recently and having great success. So now that we have the kits covered, let's talk about Laser Core. It's good, but it can only hit one Titan at a time, and it leaves you vulnerable because you must have direct visibility to your enemy for the duration of the core. Using Laser Core like Rambo will generally just get you killed against good enemies. I recommend using Laser Core against weak Titans, unaware enemies, or against Auto Titans just to get them out of the way. Basically, just be smart, and don't forget that you can quickly kill pilots or reapers with this ability as well. Whew, that's a lot to take in, and that's kind of the story with Ion in general. It takes a while to get used to the resource management style of play, but once you master Ion, you can be truly unstoppable. Plus, you know, lasers. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe or check out the rest of my channel for more Titanfall goodies. I'll see you next time, pilots.
Titanfall 2 tips and tricks.